Hey guys, welcome back to another Crypto Spotlight here. Today we're going to be talking about something I think a lot of people at Ainslie and Gold Silver Standard here we find very exciting, which is backing NFTs with physical assets and tokenizing different assets. And we're going to be talking about this today because in light of this recent announcement where Azuki actually introduced their own physical back token and they've released different gold-plated skateboards, and that caused a bit of hype on Twitter and they did quite well. So we're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to be talking about kind of our own gold, silver tokens, what we're trying to do. And then another industry, which is also trying to implement tokenization and physically backed assets, which I think is, a real interesting thing to follow and could be a lot of value in the future. So you're going to stick around for that one. But we'll start off with, I guess, kind of what are physically backed tokens and what is this whole space about. So at the end of the day, all of it is just combining the physical and digital worlds. And that's something we're very, like I said, we're really keen on here at Ainslie with our gold and silver. But so in terms of what Azuki did, they have these physically backed tokens and this thing called a bean chip. And so what it allows you to do is own different items as NFTs, and then in the event you want to actually physically get the item, you redeem the NFT. So the NFT is burned, and then you receive the physical item. So in the example of skateboards, they sold 8 gold-plated skateboards. The lowest one was for 200 ETH, which is extraordinary because the previous highest price ever paid for a skateboard was only about 38,500, which I think is below here. Yeah, 38,500. So it's quite extraordinary. They sold this for over 200,000 AUD or 400,000 Australian dollars, and the highest one went for 309. But to give a quick example, so you buy an NFT that gives you kind of the rights to a skateboard, and then if you want the physical skateboard, you burn the NFT and you get it. And then what you can do is, so once you have the physical, you can scan imagine a QR code, and it shows you the history of that item. And anyone else who's scanned to own it, their history will also be there. So it's like this whole space is just about implementing the digital and physical worlds together and making them as seamless and as possible, and reducing transaction costs and increasing efficiency. That's kind of the gist of it. And Azuki, their volume in light of the announcement went up quite an extraordinary amount. They were sitting at about 12.3 Ethereum, and they shot up, to nearly 34 Ethereum in one day. Right now, they did come back down, and they are kind of settling around this area. But still, for that kind of move to occur in the NFT and crypto market that we're in right now, which is clearly some kind of bear market, that's quite a good effort. So I think it is something worth paying attention to, and as we'll see now, other people are doing it, including us. So what we're doing here at Ainslie is, we have these gold and silver tokens, which are backed one-to-one, and they're fully redeemable, which, is probably one of the key takeaways today is that, for our tokens personally, once you have them and you want to redeem them, because the gold and silver is sitting in the vault and it's backed one-to-one, you can do that. Other advantages are, price stability and transparency. You can see, all the history of that gold and silver on the blockchain, and then transference. Imagine trying to move around 100 kilos of silver if you're moving house, or 200 kilos or 300 kilos. It's very difficult. But in the event, you could just have a ledger and you could have however much you want on there, and it's easy to move around. So that's what we're trying to do. And we have NFTs as well, our gold silver pirates, where we apply our gold silver tokens to the NFT, and then you can actually redeem that again for the physical and then trade it as well. So now to move on to a very exciting way this is being implemented. This was an Ernst & Young report that talked about it earlier in the year, which is tokenizing real estate ownership. And one of the main reasons I'm very fond of this tech in relation to real estate is because it opens up a whole new market of real estate investors, right? Because you have what's called fractional ownership, which is just allowing multiple people to own an NFT. So you could have, imagine you have a home as an NFT, and then multiple people can own a percentage of that home. So it opens up a whole new market to the real estate area because, lots of millennials, for example, can't afford to buy a home, but they can afford to buy 1% or 5% of a home. So the market for real estate is now a lot bigger. And then it also makes it much easier to sell a home and makes it a lot more liquid, and also lowers transaction costs as well. That's another big point of all this stuff, is just making it seamless and a lot more efficient. And then again, transparency is another key factor of the blockchain, in that, you can see the history of that home all on the blockchain. And another interesting factor to consider, and this also relates to not just our gold and silver tokens, but also the skateboards, is now you have these physical items, these skateboards, that are actually tradable like financial assets, right? So imagine that you can kind of barter and physically trade skateboards without actually ever holding it, which, you really couldn't do before, right? You can't trade physical assets to this extent and this easily and this quick and this seamless. And it makes real estate now a tradable item as well. So you could have, a $300,000, apartment, and then you could, it's worth 320 today, let me trade it real quick, and then you get cash. So, it's, again, a whole new way of thinking about NFTs and a whole new way of thinking about ownership and what it means. But I think that, what we're trying to do, what people in the real estate industry are trying to build, and then even NFT projects like Azuki, which, as you can see, again, got quite a fair bit of hype. People are very interested in this space. I think there's going to be a lot of value moving forward. And I think you could even argue that it could be one of the key pillars of the next bull run, because there's such, a landscape of opportunity for businesses to enter. So I hope you've enjoyed today's kind of talk. And I hope I haven't shilled too much about what we're trying to do, but I think tokenizing gold and silver and just tokenizing assets as a whole is a big use case for crypto, and will bring a lot of people into the market. So I think it was good to talk about that today. Keep up to date on our socials again. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please like and comment below. Do all that. Hop on our TikTok, Insta, all that. Got a lot more bullion content coming out. Had a bit of a scandal on the product spotlight recently about gloves. The person didn't use gloves. A lot of people were angry about that. So if you have any thoughts about that, pop them in those comments. Bit of a heated discussion down there. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one. Thanks again.